Before she was the queen of stage, screens, and Super Bowl halftime shows, Jennifer Lopez had a thrilling, adrenaline-packed, high-stakes job working in a law office. Yes, imagine the woman who would one day dance in a sparkling catsuit, instead juggling paperclips, staplers, and client files thicker than New York pizza crust. Picture it, young Jennifer Lopez walking into the office every morning with the energy of someone who secretly wanted to moonwalk past the copier. While the lawyers strutted around with briefcases and serious faces, J.Lo had dreams so big they barely fit between the dusty bookshelves of legal codes. Her desk was a battlefield, full of phone calls, endless memos, and coffee cups with lipstick marks that looked more glamorous than any legal document. Her tasks? Answering phones with the speed of a salsa beat, filing paperwork like it was a complicated dance routine, making photocopies that felt more dramatic than a Broadway audition, and of course trying not to drop a whole stack of folders right in front of her boss, which may or may not have happened more than once. But here's the thing, even when she was just a law office clerk, J.Lo couldn't hide her sparkle. Legend has it that every time she stapled a document, it sounded like a drum beat. Every time she walked down the hallway, the fluorescent lights hummed like backup singers. The photocopier became her spotlight, and the ding of the elevator was basically her entrance cue. Still, working at a law office was no glamorous gig. Clients walked in, stressed, lawyers barked orders like drill sergeants, and deadlines loomed like storm clouds. Yet somehow, Jennifer turned it into a stage. Imagine her balancing a stack of contracts in one hand while pretending the other hand held an invisible microphone. Picture her humming a tune while typing out letters, making the keyboard sound like a percussion section. In her head, the office was not just an office, it was rehearsal space. The clacking of shoes on the tile floor, that was choreography. The ringing of telephones, that was percussion. The shuffling of papers, that was a remix in progress. Nobody knew it yet, but the young woman who fetched coffee and filed depositions would soon become a global superstar, dancing in sequins under flashing lights. At that time, though, she was just Jennifer, the girl who dreamed too loud for a law office and stapled her way through the 9-to-5 grind. Because every superstar starts somewhere. And for Jennifer Lopez, that somewhere was surrounded by legal jargon, ink-stained fingers, and the faint smell of toner from an overworked copy machine. Jennifer Lopez may have been physically stuck in a law office, but mentally, she was already halfway to a dance floor with disco balls and backup dancers. While the lawyers argued about contracts and lawsuits, Jennifer secretly choreographed routines in her head, using the humming of the printer as her beat and the flickering fluorescent lights as her strobe. Legend says that once, while waiting for a fax to come through, a process that felt slower than a snail on vacation, Jennifer began practicing a subtle two-step shuffle. At first, it was just tapping her foot. Then came the shoulder shimmy. By the time the fax machine finally spit out the paper, she was doing a full-on salsa spin, nearly knocking over a box of highlighters in the process. The other clerks thought she was stretching. She knew she was rehearsing for destiny, but working at a law office wasn't all accidental dance rehearsals. Jennifer had to deal with the office jungle, phones ringing non-stop, lawyers dropping last-minute demands, and printers jamming at the exact worst possible moments. Picture her pulling out a crumpled piece of paper from a machine with the intensity of a Broadway actress delivering her final monologue. Even the janitor probably wondered why everything she did looked like a performance. Yet, inside that tiny office, Jennifer was developing the grit that would later make her unstoppable. Every time she survived a double shift filled with angry clients and endless filing, she was building stamina for late-night rehearsals and exhausting film shoots. Every time she had to plaster on a smile while answering the 100th phone call of the day, she was preparing for a lifetime of cameras in her face. Still, Jennifer wasn't just dreaming, she was plotting. After hours, she would head to dance classes, auditions, and anything that got her closer to the stage. It was as if the office was her day job, but the night belonged to her true self. The lawyers may have seen her as just another clerk, but she was secretly training to become the woman who would one day shake Madison Square Garden with nothing but her voice, her moves, and her glittering wardrobe. Sometimes, destiny sneaks up on you disguised as boring paperwork, and that's exactly what happened here. Between the files, the faxes, and the fluorescent lights, Jennifer Lopez realized something huge. She didn't belong behind a desk. She belonged under a spotlight. By now, Jennifer Lopez had perfected the art of looking busy while secretly dreaming of sequins. If anyone glanced at her desk, they'd see neat stacks of documents and a phone cradled against her shoulder. But inside her head, a full Las Vegas production, complete with backup dancers, smoke machines, and pyrotechnics exploding from the filing cabinets. Every superstar story needs a breaking point, and for Jennifer, it came on a random Tuesday afternoon. A lawyer stormed into the office waving a stack of papers like he had just discovered the world's most boring treasure. "Jennifer, I need these filed by 5, he barked. And while she nodded politely, her brain whispered, "Girl, you need to file yourself out of here by forever." That was the day she began to hatch her escape plan. Not with spreadsheets or legal briefs. Oh no. Her plan involved dance shoes, auditions, and a heart that refused to live in silence. After all, what was the point of organizing other people's lives when she had her own destiny to choreograph? From then on, every moment in the office became training for her future. The way she sprinted to answer the phone, cardio. The way she carried towers of folders, strength training. The way she smiled through endless demands, acting practice. She was basically getting paid to prepare for stardom, even if the paycheck said law office clerk instead of future global icon. But let's be honest, Jennifer wasn't exactly subtle. Some say she once stapled papers to the beat of La Bamba. Others swear she turned the water cooler area into a mini rehearsal stage, testing out dance steps while waiting for her cup to fill. And rumor has it, the office plants witnessed more moonwalks than most New York dance studios. Her co-workers probably thought she was quirky, maybe even a little odd, but they had no idea that the same woman who fetched them coffee would one day be sipping champagne at the Grammys, wearing diamonds that could blind a satellite. The transition wasn't instant. It wasn't like she stapled her last document and then, bam, became J-Lo overnight. No, it was a slow, messy, wonderful climb. Auditions, rejections, late nights, sore feet, subway rides that smelled suspiciously like pizza and despair. But every second was worth it, because Jennifer Lopez had a truth stronger than any court case. She was meant to perform, and no stack of legal briefs could silence that rhythm pounding in her chest. One day, the office clock ticked louder than usual. Each tick sounded less like time passing and more like a drum calling Jennifer to action. She looked around at the sea of grey cubicles, the sad little office plants clinging to life, the buzzing fluorescent lights that made everyone look like they were in a zombie movie. And in that moment, she knew she was done. Jennifer Lopez traded in her stapler for dance shoes and decided to audition for every gig she could find. Night after night, she pounded the streets of New York like a woman on a mission. Law offices had their rules, but auditions had chaos. Lines stretching around the block, dancers stretching like Olympic gymnasts, and casting directors who barely looked up from their clipboards. But here's the thing about J-Lo, rejection only made her stronger. If someone told her no, she just tightened her ponytail, adjusted her sneakers, and prepared for the next yes. She was fueled by stubbornness, rhythm, and the memory of endless legal paperwork she refused to return to. Soon enough, Jennifer began landing small gigs. Backup dancer here, stage extra there, nothing glamorous, yet. But compared to filing memos in a law office, it was like winning the lottery. Instead of fluorescent lights, she now danced under stage lights. Instead of staplers, she had sequins. Instead of cranky lawyers, she was surrounded by music, sweat, and people who lived for performance. Her breakthrough came when she started catching the attention of choreographers who recognized something different. Jennifer didn't just dance, she attacked the floor like it owed her money. Every move was crisp, sharp, and full of fire. She wasn't the girl filing briefs anymore, she was the girl setting stages on fire. And then came the legendary gig, dancing as a fly girl on the comedy show in living color. This was the official exit stamp from her law office past. Goodbye, paperclips. Hello, television cameras. America finally got a glimpse of the unstoppable force that would soon conquer music, film, and fashion. Imagine her co-workers back at the office, flipping through TV channels and suddenly yelling, "Wait a second, isn't that Jennifer Stapler girl from accounting?" Oh yes, it was. Only now she wasn't stapling papers. She was stapling herself into pop culture history. Her life became a whirlwind. Auditions turned into roles, roles turned into fame, fame turned into a global empire. Jennifer Lopez had gone from filing other people's stories to writing her own epic saga, one dance step at a time. By the time Jennifer Lopez officially became J-Lo, the law office days felt like a bizarre dream, like some alternate universe where glitter didn't exist and the only choreography involved alphabetizing files. But the truth is, those boring days built the legend. Without the endless hours of stapling and smiling through ringing phones, she might not have developed the iron will that carried her into superstardom. Fast forward, she's not just a dancer anymore. She's not just an actress. She's not just a singer. She's all of them at once. A full-blown entertainment machine powered by determination, sequins, and maybe 40 cups of coffee. From blockbuster movies to chart-topping hits, Jennifer Lopez became proof that you can start with a filing cabinet and end up with a Hollywood Walk of Fame star. And let's not forget the iconic moments. The green Versace dress that literally broke the internet before breaking the internet was even a thing. The Super Bowl halftime show, where she descended like a queen from another galaxy. The Vegas residencies, where the stage itself probably needed therapy after trying to keep up with her energy. Each performance was a declaration, this is J-Lo, and she's not going back to clerical work. Thank you very much. Of course, success came with its challenges. Paparazzi, rumors, a schedule packed tighter than the office filing cabinet she once tamed. But compared to answering phone calls for cranky lawyers, this was the kind of chaos she had always dreamed of. The funniest part? Jennifer Lopez became so iconic that she made multitasking look glamorous. Singing, dancing, acting, producing, fashion, business, she turned life into one giant fabulous to-do list. And unlike at the law office, she actually enjoyed ticking the boxes. Today, when fans look at J-Lo, they see the glow, the glamour, the unstoppable force of a global superstar. But hidden underneath the sequins is a simple truth. Before the fame, before the hits, before the red carpets, Jennifer Lopez was just a girl with big dreams stapling papers in an office where nobody saw her sparkle. And that's what makes her story magical. Because sometimes the brightest stars are born in the dullest rooms. Sometimes the future queen of entertainment is just waiting for her fax machine to finish buzzing so she can practice a salsa step. Sometimes the desk clerk becomes the diva. Jennifer Lopez proved it. You can go from law office clerk to global superstar. And if you ever feel stuck in a boring job, just remember, your photocopier might secretly be your spotlight.